Hi everybody, welcome to Now You're Cooking's Thursday demo. Tonight we are doing something I have never done before. So I am willing to be the guinea pig with the fermenting thing, and it's going to turn out great. But if there are any issues, we're going to get to the bottom of it and we will tell you why when we get there. Why am I talking about failure when I haven't even started yet? Who knows? So tonight we're going to be doing this. Next week we have our first wine tasting in 2.5 years, and we're super excited about that. We have Marie from Devonish coming, and she's going to have a nice selection of wines. The wine tasting is 5 to 7. It's free. It's open to the public, anybody over age 21. If you are between the ages of 21 and 26, please have your license or ID with you, because we will be keeping an eye on that. And we'll have some food to taste with it as well. But we hope to see you. The wines that we are featuring that night will be 10% off that night only too. So that will be great. So one of the things that I'm making tonight is sauerkraut. And 2 weeks from tonight, we're going to be making a dish in a clay baker, like a rummer top style clay baker. And we're going to be using the sauerkraut. So that we have that to look forward to. And then the first weekend of November is early bird. We are sticking with the early bird weekend, which would be Friday the 4th, Saturday the 5th, Sunday the 6th. We are open our regular hours, 20% off store-wide, aside from alcohol and electrics. There may be some bigger specials that day. We're not sure yet. And you'll just have to come check it out. So, and that does include our early bird gift certificates, which are super popular. And it is for in-store items only. We will not be taking requests and then giving you the discount when they come in. It's for in-store only, but that still gives you a lot of items to choose from. So let's get to it. So I've already started. I feel like I'm on Bake Off, and this is the technical. Everything's covered up. I have started my cabbage. I sliced it in the food processor, and I put in this is about 2 pounds of cabbage with a tablespoon of salt, which I massaged into it. And you can see how wet it is already. The salt is really bringing the liquid out of the cabbage there. And this is going to be a lemon dill sauerkraut, so I'm adding dill to my cabbage. And I'm going to mix that in. And this is going to be so yummy. I can't wait to try this. And then we're going to be using the Shuami, which means friendly cabbage, fermenter. And why are we fermenting at all, you may ask? Because fermenting is great. Fermented food is really great for your gut, for your microbiome. What happens is there are really happy, healthy bacteria in the air and on everything, and they're going to start breaking down all the sugars in the cabbage. When they do that, it ferments it. So it's not alcohol. There are different kinds of fermentation. This is a lactic acid fermentation. And that's going to get all these great probiotics in there. And when you eat this, it's going to do great things to your body. It's going to help you to digest and all of that. Plus, it just tastes really good. The one interesting thing is, even though we're going to be using this to cook in 2 weeks, heating it up and cooking it does kill those microbes. So we're not going to get the same benefits from it if we cook it, but we're going to eat some of it before we cook it, and then we're going to make it again because it's going to be so good. So there are 3 types. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but you can see that I'm looking at my notes here because I don't. 3 types of fermentation: lactic acid fermentation, which is what's happening here; ethanol or alcohol fermentation, which is the yeasts breaking down the sugars, and that's how you get wine and beer. And then acetic acid fermentation, which is how you get vinegar, and vinegars, and kombucha is the same type of fermentation. So I know I sound really smart, but I'm cheating. All right, so this kit here comes with the Shuami Fermenting Kit, which is all these pieces here. It also comes with a Le Parfait 1 liter jar with a lid on it. So once you're done fermenting, you can put the lid on it, keep it in your fridge, and just eat it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start putting the cabbage in here. And we want to press it down gently but firmly. And I am also going to add, because this is a lemon dill, I'm going to add some lemon slices. And I'm going to make it all purty here. These are kind of thick. I don't know if they're too thick or not, but we're just going to say it's good. And we're going to make them fit in there, cram them in there. And then we'll put in some more cabbage. And this is, like I said, I mean, this has been sitting with salt in it, and there's already, I'll show you, there's already a lot of liquid in there, which is really cool. And then I have chopped dill in there, but I'm going to add these sprigs because I'm feeling really artistic. It's probably going to be a big fail, but we'll give it a shot. Because you don't know until you try whether something's going to work.
Sanitize all these?
Yes, so I heated up, I boiled water, and I put all the pieces in it, the jars, all the metal pieces, the lids and everything. I sanitized my food processor before I chopped up the cabbage. I washed my bowl out really well, washed my hands, plus I'm using gloves. And that is, you can see, actually, you can see all the liquid that's in there. That is just from the cabbage. Can you see it? Mm-hmm. That's just from the cabbage, and the salt is bringing out all that liquid. I'm not sure all of this is going to fit, even though they said it would. You can use, they make I don't know who they are, but there is such a thing as a sauerkraut tamper. You want to use wood, not metal. You also want to make sure when you're doing anything fermented that you're using a clean spring water and not like a city water that's got all kinds of chemicals in it and stuff, because you don't want to kill off your bacteria. And when I say bacteria, don't be frightened. These are good bacteria. These are the ones that help us. So I'm just going to put a little bit more in there, and hopefully that's not too much, but maybe it is. So you can see there's a ton of liquid, so we're just going to pour it in there. And this has been sitting, they say, about half an hour. This has been maybe 45 minutes, maybe almost an hour now. And all of that liquid has come out of the cabbage, which is really cool because you don't think of cabbage as being wet. So then we are going to assemble our Shuami. And we have this piece, which is, you'll see in a second, this is what keeps the cabbage pressed down because you want it underneath the level of the water. A spring, and then the top piece, and that goes on like that. And that sits on, oops, this is why I have a towel under here. That sits on there, and then we're going to put the lid on. We're going to put the lid on. See, I said I hadn't done this before, and here's living proof. And then we're going to turn this, and that is pushing the cabbage down. Next, this little moat here at the top, we're going to put some water in there. And then we're going to put the top on. And this keeps dust and stuff out. And what the water does is it keeps air from going in. So these are anaerobic bacteria that are going to work here, which means that they don't want oxygen. They exist without oxygen. But as they're consuming all the sugars in there, they're putting out gas, they're putting out carbon dioxide. So you want the carbon dioxide to come out, which is going to come out through the hole, and then it's going to go through the water and it's going to bubble out without sucking oxygen back in. It might suck a little water in. I'm not sure. I haven't studied it that extensively. So this is now going to sit in a cool, dark place, not a refrigerator, not that cold, but just out of direct sunlight, not next to the radiator. And you do want to check it. So it's going to take about 7 to 10 days according to the recipe. You do want to check it every couple of days and make sure that there's water in that moat, because you want to make sure that there's no air getting back into the cabbage. So there is our gorgeous, it actually does look pretty good, doesn't it? I did a good job. So there's that. And then we're also going to make a giardiniera, which is an Italian, usually a pickled, not fermented vegetable thing. So you ask, Louisa, what is the difference between pickling and fermenting? Well, the difference is pickling, you're making the sour flavor by use of vinegar, which is already fermented. Vinegar there are no more live microbes in there that are going to be fermenting. So you are pickling, you're kind of soaking the vegetables in there, absorbing that delicious flavor. With fermenting, the flavor comes from the microbes doing microbes doing their thing and eating the sugars and so on and so forth. So it's a very different process. The difference in flavor is going to be, there is going to be a little difference in flavor. A lot of times you put olive oil and vinegar in when you make this. So we're not putting olive oil in, but you can serve it with olive oil if you want to. And we're hoping that we will have some of this, in a couple of weeks, week and a half, couple of weeks. If you want to come in and try it, we'd be happy to share some with you if we haven't devoured it all ourselves. So we have some pickling spice from our friends at Griffin Ridge. You can use lots of different kinds of spices in here, but this is going to add a nice flavor. This is about a tablespoon, and that's going to go in first. And then we're just going to load our veggies in. I'm going to put some gloves on again just to make sure that I'm not putting in my human bad bacteria. So typically, giardiniera has, which means from the garden, or has something to do with the garden in Italian, not one of my languages. So cauliflower, carrots, celery, peppers, sometimes there are olives in there, and stuff like that. So we're going to start with some cauliflower, and then we'll add our other items a little bit at a time, because we kind of want a layered look, even though these things are hard. They're not going to really layer. And we have some really pretty, these are those mini peppers you can get, and they're such pretty colors. I love them. And then we'll put some more of these. So you can see the process for both of these dishes that we're making is really pretty straightforward. It doesn't take long, and then it's really no more work. It's all up to those healthy, good, helpful bacteria to do their thing once we have it full. Once we get our water and stuff in there. How's that look? Not nearly as interesting as our lemon dill, but it's going to taste really good. And then we have all this extra lovely veggie. We can make a little curry mayo or something to go with and have this for a snack, a healthy snack. All right, so that is filled about as full as I want it. And then I have some spring water, again, not treated water. So if you have a well that is just maybe filtered, but it's not treated with anything, that's probably fine. Otherwise, spring water. And then you also want to use some sea salt, not table salt. Table salt is usually iodized. You don't want it to be iodized. So some kind of sea salt that is just sea salt, and that's all it is. And this has been whisked up, so it's all mixed together. And I'm going to pour this in. Again, I have the towel underneath, just in case. And you do want to kind of squish it down so that it's under the water. And I guess there are a couple of seeds still in there. Again, here's my Shuami. Here's the base. There's the spring. And the top, that goes on. And then I'm going to screw on the lid. Nice and tight. And then this is going to push down. Again, it looks so pretty. I'm so excited about this. We're going to put some water without any cabbage in it. Water in the moat. And then our lid on top. And it's okay if it spills a little bit. And again, that is going to sit for, I think it's about 10 days or so. So if you want to come by and see what these look like and see how they're bubbling away, please feel free to stop by. We'll probably have them in the kitchen somewhere. And if you want to come see how they're doing, you may do that. And then again, hopefully, definitely, we're going to be very positive. Our sauerkraut is going to be awesome. And we're going to use that in a dish with chicken and potatoes and onions. And I made it a couple of weeks ago, and it's delicious. Very simple. Not a lot of spices and stuff in there, but it's really flavorful and very delicious. So we'll have that. Next week, wine tasting. Don't forget, 5 to 7, there is no charge. It is free. You do have to be 21 years or over. Sales 10% off on the selected wines that night. We'll have a little bit of food to go with it. And we're really excited about doing a wine tasting since we haven't done one for so long. The week after is the chicken and sauerkraut. And then early bird is well on its way. So don't forget, Friday the 4th. Saturday the 5th, Sunday the 6th of November, regular hours. So 10 to 5 Friday and Saturday, 10 to 4 on Sunday, 20% off. And we're really looking forward to it. And we hope to see you next Thursday and at Early Bird. See you soon.